What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Nothing But Net Philippines, the third installment of the show. Welcome to it. My name is Aaron Atayde, back at it once again. And over the past couple of weeks, we've concentrated a lot on the NBA and the storylines that are going on over there. But right now, we are heading into the All-Star break where, Nothing But Net Philippines will be there in San Francisco. But in the meantime, this gives us an opportunity to check out a lot of the other storylines that are happening around in the basketball world. And one of them is courtesy of a Filipino baller going absolutely crazy in Division I basketball right now. And that dude is Dylan Harper out of Rutgers. He's 6'6". He's a freshman guard. His dad is Ron Harper of the 72-10 Chicago Bulls back in the day. And his mom is from Bataan, so we will claim him as one of our own. And to help me kind of understand his game and to project what the future could hold for Dylan Harper, we are joined now by ESPN NBA draft analyst Jeremy Woo. Jeremy, how you doing, buddy? How's it going now that everybody's starting to look at the draft? You must be getting a little bit more busy as the day goes along.
Oh, absolutely. At this time of year, every day we get a little bit closer. Once we get closer to March Madness, it really picks up. And then in the spring, you've got the whole pre-draft process. So we're kind of ramping up now that the new year has turned.
Oh, man, I am so excited. I, for one, have always had a soft spot for the draft. It's always a good moment for a lot of teams in the NBA that are looking to make a big jump. And one of the players that could get them there is Dylan Harper. For those that are unfamiliar with his game, can you describe to us what he the prototype that he kind of comes into the NBA draft as?
Yeah, absolutely. Dylan has been one of the best freshmen in college basketball since the start of the season. His ability to control the game as a big point guard at his size and doing it as a freshman at the college level has been really impressive. You see the way he manipulates defenses. He can play in ball screens. He can make the right pass. He can go score for himself when he needs to. I think it's all very attractive if you look at around the league and the type of size, particularly that you see in a lot of backcourts right now.
A lot of guards right now, a lot of big guards are taking over the NBA in terms of facilitating and running an offense. We've seen it in SGA. We see it with Luka Doncic. Are we expecting the same thing from Dylan once he makes the leap into the pros?
Yeah, I think that's the role he'll play. I don't want to, put the pressure on with those guys. I don't know if he's going to be an MVP candidate. Certainly not, early on, but I think the upside is there. You see the things he can do already, the poise that he's played with, and he's helped elevate, Rutgers team. They're still working hard, trying to make the NCAA tournament. It's not going to be a lock, but him and Ace Bailey, his star teammate, have been, I think, playing pretty well, and I think are starting to kind of get it together right now at this time of the season. So.
Okay, he's a guard. We automatically compare him to Jalen Green and Jordan Clarkson. As Filipinos, that's how our brain kind of works. We look at players that are sized the same, that kind of are similar in terms of the eye test when we look at them. But what are the differences that you see that Dylan might have from Jalen and Jordan?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I watched Jalen play a lot in high school around the same age. Jalen, much more explosive athlete. I think Dylan has a more advanced already at the same age passing feel. He's a little bit more looking to get guys involved. And whereas I think with Jalen, that was kind of a learning process. Jordan is more similar to Jalen in terms of his role in the NBA has always been kind of like the spark plug scorer. He's been a six man of the year candidate, and being able to come off and provide that spark. I think Dylan profiles as a little bit more of a potential starter, like full-time ball handler, just because of that poise that he has already.
Any comparison that we can go with just to close this out, like ceiling for him would be what?
I think absolute ceiling. I mean, you look at, I don't know, sometimes I watch him, I think a little about guys like James Harden, who aren't necessarily like the most explosive, but are just very smart manipulators. I don't know if he maxes out as like an MVP candidate type of guy, but like
Hmm.
if we were saying, shoot for the moon, you hope that maybe he can, handle an offense and be efficient. So I think that's absolute best case scenario. If you can hit your offense to a guy like that, who can just sort of get you good shots at that size, I think it's pretty valuable.
Now, aside from Dylan, there is a big name, Cooper Flag, when you think about this draft class. But overall, we are coming from a draft class that was kind of frowned upon, but has surprised a lot this year. What are your insights looking at this upcoming NBA draft?
You talk to people around the NBA, you talk to scouts and front office people, and I think there's a lot more excitement this year, certainly, than in 2024. Cooper Flag is a great headliner for this class, is having a great year at Duke, showcasing his defense and his growing as a scorer. You look around, we mentioned Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey, and there's a host of other guys who are having very good seasons who are also all very young. We're talking about mostly teenagers at the top of the draft, which is something that I think we tend to associate with upside. So NBA teams are looking at this group, they're projecting out, and I think they see a lot of players who could be, at the very least, good starters in the NBA and potentially be, all stars. So it's a good group.
If there was one international prospect that we might not have heard about right now, heading into the All-Star break, this is usually when we start to hear about these players. Who is that one international prospect that we should keep an eye on?
Yeah, the highest ranked international guy on our board right now is Nolan Traore from France, another French
Mm,
prospect who
yeah.
may hear his name called in the lottery. He's growing into a bigger role in France. Has a ton of talent. Very smooth. Very skilled with the ball. I think working on consistency.
Mhm.
Uh, but being a teenager at the playing against older guys and making that adjustment, it's a process. But I think the teams look at him and I think see a lot of upside.
Jeremy, thank you for joining us on the show. We appreciate you, and we will be checking in once the draft starts to get closer once again. Thanks, buddy.
Anytime. Thank you.
One more topic before we round out the show here on Nothing But Net Philippines. And we will check out, of course, the upcoming playoffs in the PBA Commissioner's Cup, where there are 9 teams that are starting to fill in the positions for the postseason. And Miguel Carmoan, a fantastic article on espn.ph, giving out his predictions. So I started to think about which ones would I like to put my name on. I'm horrible at predictions, so let's take this all with a grain of salt. Now, when I looked at the top 9, the middle 3 teams were the ones that I thought had the least amount of questions. TNT and Meralco balling out of late. Defense getting them there. Rain or shine, same thing. But it's the 3 teams at the top and the 3 at the bottom that are fighting for those last 2 spots that I think we need to have some talk about. When you see Converge, you see Northport, and you see Eastern at the top, 2 of them might be walking away with a twice to beat advantage. And at the bottom, lo and behold, you have Ginebra, you have San Miguel, and you have Magnolia. Now, the question that I have is, who are we more concerned about? Because when you look at Converge and you look at Northport and Eastern, even at this point, how will those teams react? Let's say they play against a Ginebra with a team that is led by Tim Cone, who has come back from twice to win disadvantages before numerous times, led by Justin Brownlee, who's JB is the king of never say die basketball. What if they win one? What if they win the first quarter? Can a team like Converge roll with the punches? Can they prove that they are indeed contenders? We will find out as that goes along. And then if you are, though, San Miguel, and you get a team like Northport, who's very, very versatile and can cause a whole lot of mismatch problems, how confident are you in yourselves as a team to pull this one out? So it got me excited to look at the playoffs because no matter what the rankings will be, from 1 to 8, up and down, no matter what the matchups are, you can make an argument that it will be an upset with whoever wins. If Northport comes out and takes away the semifinal spot, for instance, of San Miguel. That's an upset, even if they're a top team in terms of the seedings. So I'm excited to see how the playoffs are going to play out. But my question to you is, who out of the 9 teams, Magnolia might not even make it, should we be most concerned about? A team that is at the top of the seedings but does have a lot of questions, or a team that is just barely making it into the knockouts, but knowing that they might have the right pieces, DNA, and mental fortitude, maybe make an upset and push their way towards the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. That will wrap things up for us. Let us know in the comment sections what you think, conversations about the PBA Commissioner's Cup playoffs, or about the conversation that we had with Jeremy Woo when it comes to the NBA draft. Do let us know. Also, check out espn.ph on YouTube and on Instagram. Thank you to Jeremy for dropping by. Thank you to you as well for joining me for the past few minutes. We'll see you guys again next week. This is Aaron Atayde. Nothing but net Philippines. We're out.